Hello, and welcome to the Tale of Clayton. I'm going to start with a brief explanation of what this series is before we get into the story. This is a solo Dungeons & Dragons campaign and writing exercise. Basically, I create the characters and world like a dungeon master, then play through the story from the character's perspective. D&D rules apply for combat and skill checks, and yes, all characters can die if they lose a fight and fail their death saves. On screen, I will display relevant information, character sheets, and dice rolls, while the audio should play smoothly, just like an audiobook. There are a few relevant changes to the D&D 5e core rules I'd like to briefly touch on. Clayton is a wizard, and in this world, casting spells costs 2 HP per spell level, instead of spell slots. Natural healing is restricted to your level per day, but can be doubled under the care of a healer. The campaign is going to be focused on a fantasy college game. I've worked out some basic rules for school mechanics and will explain them when that becomes relevant. For now, thank you for listening through the introduction, and let's get started.
Day 1. I woke early, my body humming with nervous energy. Crawling out of my tent, I stretched and settled by the still smouldering campfire. I tossed in a few logs, watching as the flames flickered to life, casting a warm glow in the pre-dawn darkness. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, it unveiled the source of my anxiety: University City. From my vantage point at the edge of the forest, the city's once bright white stone walls now appeared as ancient sentinels, overgrown with vines and caked with the grime of years of neglect. A few fires atop the walls burned feebly, their light barely piercing the winter chill. The sparse flames spoke of a city diminished, a place of lost grandeur and faded glory. Determination welled up inside me, tempered by the sight before me. With a sigh, I let go of my doubts and began packing my camp. My possessions were few: clothes and a spare set, a pack with rations, my tent, trinkets, a longbow, and arrows. As I started my walk to the city, I inspected my longbow. To others, it was a symbol of protection, but to me, it was a veil for my true abilities. Blessed by Isolde with arcane magic, I had little need for conventional weapons. Yet I knew how to use it and hunted with it, concealing my magical talents from prying eyes. Approaching the gate, 2 guards in tunics and chainmail acknowledged me with a nod, their expressions weary but watchful. We exchanged brief greetings, and then I stepped inside, crossing the threshold into the unknown. After 5 long years of planning and saving my portion of every harvest, I'd made it, the famous university, the last of its kind on the continent of Atria, and as far as I was aware, the only place left in the world where you can openly study magic. Like all cities built before the plague, University City was massively overbuilt. Even the main road had abandoned and dilapidated buildings, while side streets were often completely dead. I didn't exactly know where I was going, but as I moved south towards the coast, there were fewer and fewer abandoned buildings, and more people. Soon the street opened up into a great square with a market, and people strolling about, many of them young like myself, roughly 18 to 22, dressed in fine clothes. I took a walk around the square, trying to get a lay of the land. My attention was drawn to a colourful stall, with a small crowd of students gathered around. I walked up to listen to the short man dressed in purple robes speak.
Gather round, gather round. Come closer, dear students of the arcane and the extraordinary. Feast your eyes upon treasures from lands far and wide, each item imbued with magic and mystery.
He waved his hand with a flourish, causing a series of small magical lights to dance around his wares.
First, we have these enchanted arrows,
the merchant said, holding one up for all to see. The arrowhead glowed faintly blue, catching the light.
Guaranteed to strike true, even against the toughest of foes. Perfect for our aspiring rangers and archers. Just imagine, never missing your mark again.
He gently set the arrow down and picked up a delicate silver chain with a softly glowing crystal pendant.
And here, an amulet of healing. This beauty can mend wounds and cure diseases, a true lifeline for any adventurer. Why, with this amulet, you'll be the hero of every battle, the savior in times of need.
I was quite entranced by the man flaunting rare magical items out of a simple market stand, when I heard a sigh from a girl just ahead of me talking to her friend. She spoke in a musical way.
I find it silly that someone would try to pass off minor enhancements as genuine artifacts. Here of all places.
Her friend was a tiefling, short with red skin and small horns peeking out through brown, straight hair.
Don't be such a downer. He's probably trying to get a sale or two from the freshmen. The admission week starts today, remember?
I was feeling slightly foolish at this point, having been taken in so quickly by the merchant. I had too few coins to be buying anything regardless. I stepped forward and gave the woman a small, polite bow. "Excuse me, ladies, could you point me in the direction of the campus and admissions building?" The tiefling girl giggled.
Told you, Loralee. Yes, of course, it's straight down that street. You can't miss the campus, and the mills are out there directing new students.
Thanks. Did you say mills? I gave the girls a friendly smile, hoping to get some friendly advice from upperclassmen. Loralee smiled back. She was half elven and quite pretty.
Mills like military from the College of Akati.
Yeah, they work events and stuff, always going on about discipline, but it's just some local slang. So where are you from, freshman? Always exciting to see a good-looking man join the university.
Lorelei went red.
Don't be crass, Naya.
No offense given. I'm from a little place called Singleton in the northeast. I'm Clayton. It's a pleasure to meet the two of you ladies. What college do you two attend? Loralee frowned a bit at my words, but quickly recovered.
We're clerics in the College of Meditor. I'm a second year now, and Naya is starting her third.
She noted my longbow and asked,
Do you intend to join the Ragers?
I shook my head. No, I am a wizard, seeking attendance at the College of Isolde. Any advice for a new student? Lorelei smiled at her friend.
Find friends and help each other.
I gave them another bow, thanked them for the information, and followed their directions. The university soon came into view, a vast expanse of rolling hills and paths nestled in the city's heart. To the north, a forest stretched out, and white marble buildings dotted the campus like pearls. The road led to a gate where a few students in burgundy officer coats stood chatting beside a sign with bright red letters. If you can read this, welcome to the university. This wasn't a primary school. You had to be educated before entering. Most couldn't read, which always seemed odd to me given its usefulness. Pushing my curiosity aside, I approached the uniformed students. I can read. Would you please tell me where I can find admissions? One of the boys sighed and nodded. I'll take you. He led me down a path of light blue stone towards the south. As we crested a hill, a pavilion with a small crowd came into view. The student gestured towards it and then headed back. I approached the pavilion, where university staff guided me through the admissions process. I filled out forms, wrote a short essay about my desire to join the College of Isolde, and detailed my background in arcane magic. After handing over 10 gold coins to the bursar, I was officially admitted. The bursar smiled and introduced me to Isolde Moonshadow, a tall, graceful woman in dark robes. As a professor of spellcraft in the College of Isolde, she welcomed me warmly and instructed me to attend an orientation in the Wizards' Quarter tomorrow at 10 a.m. A staff member then placed me in a group for a campus tour. The tour provided a good sense of where things were, like the Wizards' Quarter and the library. However, much of the tour seemed focused on selling the university's amenities. 10 gold per semester for a bunk in a barracks? Ridiculous. Dining packages took nearly a half hour to explain. With only 5 gold left, I needed to spend it sparingly. Fortunately, I had a plan for accommodations. The city was full of empty buildings. By the end of the tour, I was pleasantly surprised to find library access included in the tuition. With an early event tomorrow, I set out to find a quiet spot to rest. I headed west across campus into a more dilapidated section of the city. Passing a few well-kept homes and shops, I moved deeper into an area of abandoned buildings. Many entrances were boarded up, but I found a collapsed second-story window open to the air. Despite a few loose bricks slowing me down, I managed to climb up. Inside, the burned-out remains of what once was a nice study greeted me. The brick was charred, the furniture dilapidated, but not completely destroyed. It seemed untouched for a long time. Digging through the wreckage, I found long-soiled books and glass remnants. Some table remnants shimmered ominously, an alchemical setup perhaps. Deciding not to risk exposure to mysterious substances, I continued exploring. The stairs to the first floor had collapsed, leaving the second floor with 2 other rooms. The first was an elegant master bedroom, aged and exposed to the elements. A rock-shaped hole in the window let in a cold draught. The bed was nasty and collapsed, but a small vanity remained in surprisingly good condition. I used wood from the collapsed bed to start a small fire in the hearth, then began the clean-up process and set up my tent. Snacking on field rations, I quickly grew sleepy and called it a night, drifting into a restful slumber with thoughts of the exciting opportunities tomorrow would bring. I rolled over, a strange noise disturbing my rest. A gentle breeze. I rolled again, trying to ignore it. The wind hissed gently.
Help.
I froze, a chill running through me. That was a voice. I opened my eyes. A faint blue-purple light lit the room. Carefully looking around, I grabbed my bag and longbow. Listening carefully, I heard it again from the hallway.
Help.
It was so faint, yet distinct. Slowly, I swung the door open. The light was much brighter out here, and I followed it into the alchemy room. In the corner of the room where the collapsed table was before, now stood a large portal, shimmering with a blue-purple light and crackling with a gentle hum. In this room, I could hear the wind sounds clearer and the whispering wind of a voice emanating from the portal.
Clayton, help me.
A spontaneous extraplanar event, or portal pop, is a rare event where a connection between the material plane and another world fractures reality. These events are what allow monsters and strange beings into the material plane. And that's exactly what I was staring into right now. What shitty luck. My instincts told me to just flee. But what was the voice? Where did the portal lead? I could hear strange humming emanating from it, like vibrating metal. Curiosity overruled my better judgment. Hello? How do you know my name?
Wonderful. You answered. Please don't be scared, Clayton. I will explain, but I need your help now, please.
I frowned. The voice was sweet and pleasant, feminine. But what good can come from interacting with a strange entity? I spoke cautiously. Well, hello, Mom. I just don't know that I should be helping you. You sound sweet and all, but fraternizing with extraplanar creatures isn't exactly a good thing. The voice rang back after a second. It was quieter now.
I see. I mean you no harm. I don't know how long this will be open, but I will try to explain. so you can see I am a good soul like you. I am Celine, a dream walker from the plane of dreams. I am trapped in the plane of echoes. I've been trapped here for a long time. I had to flee my home, you see. I'm just trying to help my people. I want only good for you and your people. Please just hear me out. You may refuse if you wish not to help.
I sighed. All right, I suppose I can do that at least.
Thank you, sir. I'm trying to escape into the material plane, but I am immaterial. I need a vessel to anchor my being, so I need you to find something I can inhabit.
I did my best to wrap my mind around the situation. Celine sounded authentic, but she was a being from a plane of dreams, so obscure I'd never heard of such a place. And she was in the plane of echoes, another plane that was beyond my knowledge. And she is an immaterial being, trying to inhabit something material. Okay, so you need some vessel because you don't have a physical form. Why do you even want to come to the material plane? The voice that came back seemed encouraged.
So you're willing to help? Oh, thank you, Clayton. I was sent here to give people good dreams. See, dreams on your plane materialize in the dream plane, so good dreams make good things, and bad dreams make monsters and things. So if I give people good dreams, I'll make my world better for all my people.
I again shrugged off the strangeness of the situation. Okay, I suppose. What kind of vessel do you need?
Yes, thank you, Clayton. I will give you the best dreams. I just need something with life energy to sustain me. You would work great.
I took a step back. You want to possess me? No way. The voice sounded hurt.
Not possess you. I would just borrow your body. We can share it.
That's a hard no.
Pretty please.
I took a moment to think. Life energy is an archaic term, typically applying to anything with a consumption need. Animals need to eat, so they have life energy. A plant does the same thing with the sun, and even things like fire that consume wood. You can't use me. Maybe I can find a rat or something.
Oh, I hate rats.
Seriously, why are you so picky?
Would you want to be a rat?
Fair point. What about something like fire?
Would that work? How would that even look?
She sounded confused. Well, it has life energy, so it should work.
Fine, just hurry and push something through.
I got up and went back to the bedroom, gathered some coals into a small bowl, then approached the portal and carefully pushed the bowl through until it disappeared. For a moment, nothing happened. Then I was engulfed in a bright white flash.
End of Chapter 1.